Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jeremy, and you guys are watching Morphs. This week's video is going to be the start of our ball python breeding kind of tutorial type of deal, I guess you would say. Basically, I'm just going to take you guys through more of the breeding process that I go through for the ball pythons. This video is going to focus solely on the pairing aspect. I'm going to go over how I do that and how often I do that, along with showing you guys some introductions for these males into these females. So before we get into that, make sure you guys hit that like button, leave me a comment down below, let me know what you guys think of these pairings, if you guys are looking forward to this series, because I think it's actually going to be a pretty cool one. And also, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already, and definitely hit that notification bell if you haven't. So, let's get into this video because I'm stoked about this season's pairings. Alright, so we're going to start off with our GHI Mojave male, which he is absolutely freaking awesome. Love the way his colors are and how his pattern is, or patternless pattern is. But he is getting paired. He's getting paired to our GHI. He's getting paired to our lesser platinum, or also known as lesser daddy female. Trying to do this one-handed, so this isn't exactly the easiest thing to do sometimes. Main thing to keep in mind is that my males only see the females once a month. And by once a month, I mean I put them in one day, I let them in there for 3 days total, and after the third day, they get pulled whether they've locked or not. Let's say if they've locked on like day number 2, then I will let them in until they unlock. Sometimes they stay locked for 2 days. I've seen, the longest I've seen was all but 3 days of a lock. And normally by then they unlock then. But sometimes these locks do go on for a while, so I let them stay locked up until they are done. And then once they're done, I'll pull the male out, give him a rest, and that'll be the last time he sees that female for that whole month. And here's our bumblebee clown male. He's also gorgeous. Love this dude. Actually, I love all my snakes. What can I say? But the other thing to keep in mind too is that, say you want your male's going to more than one female. Then in that instance, if that's the case, once he's done with the one female, I give him a break for that week, and then the following week, I'll introduce him to the next female. And then you could just kind of do the same pattern, let him in there for 3 days or until they unlock, depending, when they lock up and how long. And then he gets another break. The big thing to keep in mind is that male does not get to see any female more than one time a month. That is the big key. Males only, for me anyway, males only see each female one time a month. This is our Desert Ghost male. This dude is awesome. Glad I got him before the Desert Ghost craze. There's our gorgeous killer bee. And sometimes what you can do, and actually I'm going to do it for these. Sometimes if you give them just like a little mist, that sometimes triggers like a breeding behavior. You don't have to mist it hard, heavy, just enough just to make it a little bit damp in there. That is another trick to get them to lock. Now these two, I've had no problems getting them to lock. This will be the second time they've seen each other. Actually, this is the second time they've all seen each other. But yeah, sometimes I just give them a little mist. Sometimes I don't bother, but thinking tonight I will, because we did have some storms move through the other day, and it just kind of helps promote the breeding behavior. Alright, we'll get our last male that we're pairing for right now. This is our leopard lesser spot nose male. This was supposed to be a female, but needless to say, that did not turn out to be true. And I think she thinks she's getting fed because she's on this let's eat everything that's in front of us. All right, now I do want to show this because I didn't think about it. The one thing I do also do, just so that way mentally I know that there's a male in there. I mean, all my breeding females have their breeding card. I pull that card out just so that way it signals to me that there is a male indeed in there with them. So that's another just visual aid. That way you don't forget. But definitely nice little reminder and help. Like what I do here, I'll show you is these are all their cards, the four girls anyway. So you can see I just put the dates and I put down what number mail went to them. There you can see it, and then whether they locked or not. I also include the genes of the male just for whatever reason. If I go to look at the card and I'm like having a blind moment, just don't think of it. But all the information stays on there and helps me keep track of what males have been in there in case I do switch up plans a little bit, which hopefully I don't have to anymore this year. So there again, the things that the video of what I learned, with the record keeping and stuff makes the world of difference. Another thing I want to make mention also as well is that some people drop the temperatures in their snake rooms or just their hot spots. They drop the temps. I don't drop temps at all. The room here in the basement naturally drops, I'm going to say like a degree or two just because of the changing of the seasons. So the room naturally has a slight drop, nothing tremendous, just like I said, like a degree or two. But I keep all my hot spots the same at where they fluctuate between 88 and like 90 in that neighborhood. So I don't really change anything as far as thermostat wise or anything like that. All that stuff stays the same. It's just natural ambient temp drop of just the room itself, and that's it. I mean, pairing these guys are super easy. Ball pythons are, in my opinion, probably one of the easiest snakes to breed. I've never bred anything else, granted, but from what I've been told, ball pythons are super easy, and I've kind of noticing that, as long as you do your part, they do their part. You do have those certain instances where they kind of don't exactly go according to plan, but for the most part, they're pretty easy going as far as breeding goes. All right, this is the next day after pairing, or the start of pairing them, and look at that lock. That there is exactly what you want to look for. There's a really good lock between these two. Hopefully we get some bells out of this pairing. As the ultimate thing to hit. Actually, I guess it's not the ultimate, but it's what I'm shooting for with this pairing because everybody loves bells. Awesome. Those two aren't quite locked up, but he's working on it. So they've only been in there one night. And that's another very, very nice lock. The other thing to keep in mind too is just because you don't see them locked, does that mean that they didn't lock, like say, like at nighttime while you were sleeping? It's very, very possible that they did lock, you just didn't see it. And there is another awesome, awesome lock. I got a good feeling about this season. There's a few other tricks that you can do to try to get your males kicked into high gear and get them wanting to, you know, start the mating process. And the first thing is throw in the shed from another male. A lot of times that will get the current male that's in the tub with the female, kick him into high gear where he's thinking, I gotta get the job done. I gotta pass my genes on and, you know, keep my lineage going. Another thing you can do is to take the sperm plugs from another male and wipe them on the female. And just, it has to be sperm plugs from a different male than what you're using to pair with already. There again, it gets him thinking, there's another male in the area. I got to get my genes in there and get the job done. The next thing you can do, and this one you really want to keep an eye on, like you don't really want to leave the room if you would do this, is put another male actually in the tub. I've never done this. I know other people have recommended doing it, but essentially, you know, you have two males in the tub with the female, and you have to, the same part you have to keep a really close eye on is that the male that you don't want to sire the clutch, you have to keep a close eye and make sure that he doesn't physically lock up with the female, because then you have that chance that that male you don't want to use will get the clutch, or you'll have a dual sired clutch and you won't get as many eggs from the male that you actually want to sire the clutch. So that's another way to do it. I wouldn't really, at this point in time, I wouldn't do it. I'd try the other ways that I've suggested. Just another thing is that males do fight, and you would run the chance of, if one male is bigger than the other, you run a chance that the bigger male is going to start thrashing, beating up on the smaller one. So you just got to stay in the room, and you have to keep an eye on them and keep checking them to make sure everything's okay. But those are a couple other methods that you can use. If you guys would like to see me actually implement some of them, I really don't want to implement the two males in the same tub with the female. That's just, I can't sit down here that long and just wait and monitor them at the moment. So, but if like the shed idea, the sperm plugs on, if you'd like to see how to get the sperm plugs out and do all that stuff, I'd be more than willing and happy to do another video when I go to throw the males in next go around and show you guys how to do that. Just leave a comment down below. Let me know if you guys do want to see that. It probably would make some decent content. So let me know. If you guys do want it, I'll do it. If nobody really wants it, then I'll see if I can't like throw it in there one of these days. But if you guys do want to see that, I'll get on it a lot quicker. So yeah. So that's just a few other methods you can use to try to get your males that are being a little difficult on the pairing process. Another thing is sometimes males just aren't compatible with the females, and females aren't compatible with the males. It's kind of like in people and everything else, there is a slight compatibility thing you have to have going on there. So if the female isn't feeling it, or if the male isn't feeling it, there's not going to be anything going on. So that is always one thing you have to keep in mind too, is are they compatible? All right, so it's day 3, and they are all, or at least this pair is unlocked. So since they're not paired up anymore, take him out. This pair, they're definitely unlocked. So we'll pull him. Check these two. They're still acting like they're interested, so I'm gonna let him in there yet. Give him tonight yet. And these two are unlocked. And normally, when you see your female laying on top of your male like that, I was told that that's like a dominance thing. So she's basically pulling rank on him. She's basically pulling rank on him and saying, all right, dude, you're done. Take a break. Well, everybody, I hope that it really helped you guys out. That's going to be it for the pairing part of this series. Just to let you guys know, the second day when I checked on them, they were all locked up in the morning when I checked on them in the evening, except for the leopard, lesser spot nose, and the Axanthic girl. I never saw a visual lock with them this pairing. But I saw stuff that showed signs that, possibly I was missing it. So that's why when you saw the third day, I kind of left him in there again, just hoping maybe I'd get to see an actual visual lock out of the two of them. But never got to see that visual. But when I checked on them, I was going to pull the males out on day 2, because when I got home in the evenings, or when I got home in the evening, the males had been unlocked. So I thought, all right, well, I'm gonna get some food and get showered up after work, and then I'll yank them out after all that. And came back down, and they were locked back up again. So left them in there another night, and on day number 3, obviously, as you all got to see, they were actually all unlocked. So I pulled them out then. That's just kind of how you have to do it. Sometimes they unlock and then lock back up again. It's just kind of whenever you want to pull them, but I was just not letting your males in there any longer than 3 days. That's just my personal feeling and thought and how I do it. But I'm sure there's somebody out there that does it maybe for 4 days or, what have you. But this is how I do my pairings. And our first season, it was super successful. It all worked out and came out great. So hopefully this helps you guys in your next season and with your pairings. And stay tuned, because we'll be doing another part to this series. I have to kind of figure out which topic I want to touch base on next. But there's more to come with this series, because there's so much to go over with ball python breeding. So stay tuned, everybody. Make sure if you haven't already, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you haven't already. And we'll catch you next time. Take it easy.